What's my experience with the mainline Metroid games? Good question. Here's my answer. Metroid 1. Played enough to get lost. Never met Crater Ridley. Metroid Zero Mission. Never played it. Probably should, though. Metroid 2. Never played it. Metroid Samus Returns. Never played it. Definitely should. Super Metroid. Played it for the first time a month before Dread came out. Loved it. Metroid Fusion. Played it on the 3DS Virtual Console. It was my first 2D Metroid experience. Good game. Metroid Other M. Never played it. Likely won't. Metroid Prime 1. Played it on the Wii U version of the trilogy. Good game. Metroid Prime 2. Got through most of it. Got lost by the end. Never finished it. The third Metroid Prime. Never got around to playing it. This game. Played it multiple times. Love it. My game of the year for 2021. Anyway, much like my experience with the Zelda series, it wasn't until the most recent release that got me to play and enjoy the whole game from start to finish, all while also leaving me wanting to replay it all again. Dread just hit all of the buttons that satisfied me and entertained me, and while I think that was partly due to having played specifically Super and Fusion before playing it, it could also be due to the developers of Dread making such a fun and accessible entry into the Metroid series. It's not going to be for everyone, but nothing ever is, so if you're on the fence about playing Dread, take my advice and play it. You're going to have a hell of a good time.
Ewa!
And we're back. Time to venture into Catarus. Now, I believe for this room, you do need the spider magnet no matter what in order to access this. It might be possible to damage boost your way up to that platform and all the way over here. I don't know. I don't think so. But my understanding of the speedrunning community is not the greatest, I will say. I know a couple of tricks, but I don't know every trick. So if there is a way to sequence break to get over here without the spider magnet, I'd be glad to learn about it. Alright. We have reached the elevator to Catarus. Yeah, those elevator sequences count as the loading screens between areas. Alright, we got a door, so let's head in. There's a hot room. And another hot room. Well, guess there's no way in safely. What do? Turns out, yeah, there's a breakable wall over here. And this is the correct way you gotta go. Careful of fire, standing it too long, and obviously you'll take a lot of damage. These robots seemingly take a lot of damage normally, but melee countering them is a very easy and effective way of getting rid of them.
Uploading data.
ZDR appears to be powered by thermal energy. Magma is pumped from the planet's interior and routed from there. I have located the central routing system for the magma. It is here in Catarus. Samus, your current suit cannot protect you as you explore Catarus. The extreme heat of the lava is too much for it. Under no circumstances should you enter high temperature areas. I note a shuttle somewhere above here. Use it to find a path forward. There is one other thing to discuss. It is your new Phantom Cloak ability. The Phantom Cloak prevents the enemy from detecting you. Thus far, your only option was to run. Now, bypassing them is also an option. Use this to reach your objective. Note that using the Phantom Cloak severely decreases your mobility, and direct contact with an enemy will still result in capture. It is up to you whether to hold your position. Just be aware of your surroundings. The Phantom Cloak is useless. Once an enemy sees you, you will need to evade capture until it gives up pursuit. The Phantom Cloak can remain active after your aim has been depleted. It will consume your life energy instead. Consider it a desperate measure. Remember, it cannot drain your energy. energy down to nothing. Judicious use of this technique will improve your probability of survival.
Thank you, Adam. Let's keep moving here. Guess this is not the right door to go into. Excuse me. Sorry. Thermal door open. These guys... Normally, you can't do enough damage to them before they blow up in your face. So, melee countering them is the best way of handling them. Unfortunately, that does seem to be the answer for a lot of enemies in this game. Where shooting them, sure, whatever. Melee countering them? Hey, that's where the real stuff is. Real quick, there is a little hidey hole here. The map has the ability to place markers. So if you highlight over an area and press the A button, you can choose between one of 5 different colored markers and just toss it onto the map for future reference. The minimap will also get updated to say where something is, so if you're out exploring and you want to get a quick note as to where you want to go back to, you'll see a little arrow that indicates whatever color you put down. So that's pretty neat. Very useful for collecting. This can't do anything with, but this elevator, obviously, you can do something with. Let's keep it going. Excuse me. So, it is important to note that as far as completion is concerned in this game, the first thing you'd want to go for, as far as ending rewards, is going to be a fast clear time, rather than 100% item completion. You can still get rewards for 100% item completion, but it is more... You can go back after completing the game fast in order to unlock the... in order to unlock the rewards for item completion. So if you complete the game fast first, then go back, that's probably the best way of getting all the rewards. Oh. Thanks to the Phantom Cloak, the enemy cannot see Samus. This one can crawl through tight spaces. So we're gonna have to keep that in mind as we go forward. Oh, already. It's coming in. It's coming. Yeah, they caught us. Alright, here's the cutscene. You try to melee counter it at the wrong time, and nothing happens. And you get a game over. Now, that sounds terrifying, and it is terrifying your first time out. But as you get better at the game, or at least as you continue to play the game, the enemies stop becoming terrifying and just become annoying. Because they're just in your way more often than not. Oh, hello. Yeah, it gets worrisome your first few times out. In fact, it may instill dread upon you. But after a while, you just start saying, whatever. If I get caught, I get caught. It's no big deal. It's just a hindrance. It always spits you out of the Emmy zone, so it's not really a proper game over. It's just, oh, a mild hindrance. Cool. Because the timing changes every time you encounter the Emmy and like have to escape it, you can never get a strategy down for melee countering them. You just have to be good at the quick draw, basically. I'm gonna lay down yet another marker down here. I'm gonna put a blue one because I think I know what's over there. Walk through here. Charge up a charge beam, shoot that button. And now those elevators are active. And furthermore, it'll pump some of the thermal flow. We're going to take this left elevator because the right one will lead to a path that we don't have all the requisite upgrades to actually get everything from. So we'll have to wait for that. Yet again, redirect to the thermal fuel. We can't access this because there's a wall there. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to get through a door. Thank you. And we've looped around. Oh, I'm sorry. I've never really addressed this. These statues, if you interact with them, there are 3 different types. You will be able to restore different aspects of your arsenal. So that one was a purple one. It helped us restore all of our health. There's another red one that will restore all your missiles. And the third one is a full restore for both missiles and health. So be on the lookout for those on your first time through if you are really desperate for, you know, certain... Sorry, Emmy's distracting me. If you're on the lookout for refuels. Alright, we're through that zone. This looks ominous and or menacing. Maybe even ominous and menacing. Menacing. There's a teleporter right behind this wall here. Can't do anything about it just yet. There we go. Shoot that down, if possible, from here. There we go. And we're going to need to remember to come back here later. At least for collectibles. It is not a required path to take. And I will reiterate that collecting all items in this game, it does help you get ending rewards, but the first ending rewards you want to go for are a fast time. And then go back and collect everything.
Uploading data.
ME stands for Extraplanetary Multiform Mobile Identifier. It can procedurally modify and enhance its own capabilities. Its ability to configure itself to fit into narrow spaces is a standard feature. Any ME you encounter will likely do so as it pursues you. You are not capable of destroying their armor plating. This would be true even at your full capabilities. You are faced with overwhelming power. Accept your helplessness. Study each ME carefully and use the Phantom Cloak to advance. There are risks even here. The Phantom Cloak reduces your mobility and consumes more AN when you move or shoot. It is still your best chance at survival. Do not hesitate to destroy an enemy whenever you discover more unique energy. This was not one of your original priorities. However, I see no other way to accomplish your goal. These existential threats cannot be sanctioned.
Keep it going. This fun little creature, we're just gonna knock him out right now because I'm terrible at explaining things. We'll try to see him in action a little bit more later on. Oh, the Emmy is just past this door. It's right below us now. And it hurt us. Oh, there he comes. We have the map room here. Let's have a look at the map. See if we can figure out where we gotta go. Dread is a little bit more like Fusion, Metroid Fusion, where you are pretty much sent along a linear path and most things unlock for you. But unlike Fusion, there were not really countermeasures, but acknowledgments of the potential of sequence breaking, because within the Metroid community, sequence breaking became very popular, especially at speedrunning events such as Games Done Quick. If you've ever heard of Save the Animals versus Kill the Animals, for example, that's a big Super Metroid speedrun community reference. And, to a greater extent, Games Done Quick in general. So, even though Dread also is pretty linear, as was Fusion, you can still find ways to sequence break and find things out of order and, you know, explore a little bit. So as long as you stay along the path that you were given, you'll be able to find the correct path to take to make progress. At least usually. There are a couple of instances where it's pretty common to wonder, where the heck do I go? But hopefully this playthrough will be able to help out those who might not be fully aware of what path is the right one. Yeah, this landing is always spooky because the Emmy is usually camped out right there. It hurt us, but we escaped before it could see us, so we're all good. Oh! Alright. We can keep moving here, don't need to save. I'm good on healing as well. Up here are some breakable blocks. And now we can move further over here. Now we moved that down, we can go back to that thermal fuel redirector and make some progress. But first, I want to head over here. This is, I think, the first instance where if you're trying to collect all the items, it's the first instance where you absolutely need the wall jump. And the wall jump, on a casual playthrough, if you're just trying to go to the end of the game, you never need to know how to use it. I don't think, anyway. Because it's never taught to you. But as long as you understand how the wall jump works, you can collect everything that you want. Alright, make some headway this way, and we just get a regular old energy tank as opposed to just a part full one. Okay, here we go. So, after a certain amount of time of aiming in a direction, this guy will shoot off a burst of flame. So, if you want to lead his shots, you can just have Samus jump around for a bit. But obviously, he flashes a lot, so you can just melee counter him and finish him off that way. Otherwise, he'll take damage to missiles and charge shots. This yellow one, yellow recharge station, is for both health and missiles. There was nothing else in that room for us, by the way. Let me in. Don't need to fight these guys. You'll note that the map is going to start flashing right around here. Well, hopefully you'll notice. And that's actually because right there's a new block that we cannot break right now, but we're going to need to remember to come back here later. Die. Whoop. One shot. Ah! Alright, now for another area transition. Now we're taking a train. Off to Dairon. Please disembark from the platforms quickly and swiftly. Looks like we have arrived at a factory of sorts. These guys are a little bit different as far as the flying type enemy is concerned, in that they're a little bit more aggressive than the ones we've seen so far. As soon as they spot you, they will charge at you. And they'll do it over and over. If they hit you as well, it won't take long for them to just go for it again. So be mindful of them. Coming up here is a mine. There it is. After a certain amount of time, they will explode. They'll pop up, rather, and then explode. Looks like we have a bit of a dark hallway here. None of the doors are powered either, so if we tried to access that right there, nothing would happen. We're gonna need to find our way through. Once again, that's not working, so we gotta find another path. Let's turn on that power. Alright. Yeah, there are plenty of destroyable blocks in this first little area of Dairon. And we have another upgrade. The wide beam. It's just an upgrade that increases the range at which your regular blast fires. You can now open wide beam covers and push wide beam boxes. So yeah, now we have more range for our regular shot. There we go. Open the cover. Now, unfortunately, we don't have much else to do here in Dairon. We've gotten the major upgrade we can get, and now all we can do is make progress in Cataris. So we're gonna have to find our way back to the start eventually. But by the way, we have a new Emmy. This one moves really fast. If you get caught by that one, you're gonna have to be quicker than it, which is not easy to do. Alright. Now that that's out of the way. Nope. Let's head back to Cataris. Because try as we might, there are no paths that we can naturally take. At least here in Dairon for now. We got what we needed. Now that we have the wide beam, let's see what exactly is new for us here. I was gonna say, I could probably use some health now. That'll push it out of the way so we can make an easier path to get back. Oh, the Emmy's already here. But this one isn't the super fast one. This is the one that can crawl through tight spaces. Or at least the first one that can crawl through tight spaces. I messed up. I guess I'll take the long way. We're supposed to go up here. And right through here, as indicated by the glowing blue spots on the door, is the central unit. Again, watch for the regular beam shots and the Gijinkas, or Ginkas, not Gijinkas. That's a different thing entirely. Maybe they're Gijinkas of giant, glowing orange rings. In which case, they nailed the cosplay perfectly. Alright, we have the Emmy Buster. Let's see how we do. Unfortunately, it pops up right there. So if you're not quick or attentive enough, gotcha! It can really mess you up. Alright. Let's see if this is a long enough road. I don't think it is. It's gonna be close. I think we can get it. Gotcha. Whew! Cutting it close. How about that 99% chance of not surviving it? Huh, Adam? You don't know me. And now, 2 episodes into this playthrough, we have the Morph Ball, finally. Now, whenever we press ZL or tilt down twice, we can turn in the Morph Ball. We can also jump while in the Morph Ball, which used to be an upgrade you needed to unlock for it. When standing next to a narrow tunnel near ground level, press B while moving toward the tunnel with left stick to automatically switch to Morph Ball form and enter. This also works while grabbing onto a ledge leading to into a narrow tunnel. Which is very useful for navigating these various rooms. Let's look around. Here we go. So we're pushing up against this wall, and I'm just going to tap B, and there we go. She just vaults right into the Morph Ball form immediately. It's pretty nice. And we can get a missile tank, and move on from here. You don't have bombs yet, which is a very common Metroid weapon to have with the Morph Ball. But not this early, obviously. This is the third statue you can recharge at. This one only recharges your missiles. We can go through there if we want to, but there is no way we're surviving because it is too hot. If we head into here, there's a save room, but it's literally only a save room. And here we have another upgrade that we haven't really seen yet, the Missile Plus tank. Rather than giving us just 2 missiles, it gives us 10. And here we have our first teleporter. This one will warp us right back to Artaria.
Okay, here we go.
Transfer, Yumi.
Scanner, Yumi. Virtualization.
And now we're here. You might recognize this room as one of the first escapes from your first Emmy, or at least the white Emmy. And if you remember, we blew up a bomb block or a missile block earlier, and that got us a missile tank. Now we have the Morph Ball, we can get that. Pretty cool. Another save room, don't need to worry about it. Another energy part. More tight corridors. If you're claustrophobic, I apologize. If you're quick enough, you can avoid all the enemies without needing to, engage them in combat. That cover up there is a super missile cover. So you can't bust it open right now with your regular missiles. You're going to have to wait until you get an upgrade for that. Also, there's a missile right down there, but we can't access it yet. Gotta go through that charge beam door that's down there. Speaking of charge beam doors, there's that. And another thermal flow redirector. Thermal fuel flow, excuse me. That's new. And good job, Samus. You threw everything into disarray again. Can't go up top because of that laser beam. Gotta run. Everything's gonna blow up. Just another day in the life of Samus Aran, bounty hunter extraordinaire and destroyer of planets. Yes, quite literally. I'm sure it's fine. Probably incredibly hot, but it's fine. Well, what if we had a new suit upgrade? It is time for the Varia suit. Previously translated as the barrier suit, or at least implied barrier suit, reduces damage taken from energy attacks and insulates Samus from extreme heat. However, it does not prevent damage from extreme cold and lava. In addition, the barrier suit slightly increases the dash melee's damage. So, now he can walk into hot rooms and be totally fine. How about that? Boop. Now, there's an upgrade down here, and this is lava, so you're gonna take damage if you go into there. If you want to wait to come and get this missile upgrade, you can. But it is totally doable if you've gotten the 2 major energy tanks so far to come into here, and if you're quick enough, not take a whole lot of damage by the time you collect and escape the lava. Collect the lava and escape the lava. I realize how that sounded. I meant collect the missile tank. It's fine. But yeah, it's an early way of getting that. You don't need to get it right now, but you also don't need to wait, so it's nice. Excuse you. Alright, bust out of there, come down here, and unfortunately, well, we'll find out in a second, that we cannot go anywhere else here in Artaria from this teleporter because we can't access the alien block down there to carve us a path. So we're just stuck here unless we take the teleporter, or teleportal, back to Cataris. So with so many options, let's go. Now that we have the Varia suit, obviously we can withstand extreme heat, but one of my favorite things about the Varia suit is how much of the game opens up to allow you to sequence break before coming right down here. You can actually get a lot of upgrades before coming this way, and if you want to see exactly how in-depth that can go, check out the end of the video where I go into detail about it. Obviously for this normal playthrough, we're going to be going through it as normal, but this part was always super cool to me once I learned about how much of the game you can break, or sequence break, at this point. Hey, whoever's roaring, can you calm it down, please? I'm trying to have a leisurely stroll through the magma caverns of Cataris. There we go. That's defeating the creature without using the melee counter. Is that a creature in the background? Or is it like a rock? It's a little hard to tell. The minimap is actually blinking right around here, and that's because down through this magma at the very end there is a breakable block for a weapon we don't have yet. And inside there is a missile tank. So we're gonna have to come back here later. Oh, this design looks familiar. Fans of the older Metroids would probably recognize it as something. Yeah, we've had too much of Ridley showing up in other Metroid games. How about we get the other boss from Metroid 1 showing up for once? Hi, Kraid. Samus doesn't care. As before, Kraid's weakest point is the inside of his mouth. Unlike before, he's also restrained a little bit. But it's still Kraid. So to make Kraid open up his mouth, we'll see it in a second. This initial part of the fight, he'll have it open. Hit his dumb noggin with a missile or a charge beam, and he'll open up his mouth. That'll give you a little bit of leeway to shoot his insides. For this part, only the fireballs will be homed in on Samus, so those are the only things that are targeting her. You want to keep that in mind. And he really only shoots 3. This part, he'll shoot out those fingernails. I'm not really sure how else to describe them. They'll do a lot of damage to you, so if you can bust them open with a missile, that's the best way of getting around them. But he will aim at where Samus is standing rather than where she's going to be, so you can also just walk out of the way of it. He's breaking free of that restraint. You want to do something about it? Backflip? That works. Ooh, you got a goopy belly button, sir. Alright, well, I found his weak spot. You can shoot it as normal, but you can also shoot it with missiles and charge beams. If you shoot it with missiles, you can actually bust open the little blobs that end up coming at you, as long as they, you know, aren't in the path. You'll also shoot out that purple goo, which will cause a wave along the ground. And then these things will do a lot of damage to you if you don't evade them, but you have to crouch or go into morph ball form in order to avoid them. Actually, just morph ball form. I meant slide or morph ball. Here come his fingernails again. Unfortunately, that one always messes me up. Stand here for a second. Alright, let's try this again. I only have two missiles, so let's see how this goes. Well, that didn't work out very well. Alright. Still gotta wait for those to blow open. Alright. Come on, Kraid. Show me your dumb face. Can I hit this one that time? There we go. Ah, damn. Now, unfortunately, it's looking like I'm not doing too well as far as health is concerned, so it is possible, I stuttered there, that I will probably lose this fight if I'm not careful. And knowing me, I'm not careful with this fight. If you're patient and not dumb like me, after a few of these, Kraid will actually start reaching out for you and punch you to death. Alright, this is round 2. I'm gonna try right from the start again. See how much better I can do. I'm actually very unpracticed of doing this fight correctly, so that might be why I failed so bad, but I really shouldn't make any excuses. I do really want to show off more of what Kraid can do in this fight, but he's being a pain, so... Alright, he did the 4. Keep shooting him. And yeah, he just punches you off. I know for a fact that there is a point where you can counter him. But I don't remember the trigger for doing that. Once again, I don't do this fight legitimately most of the time, so my understanding of how he works is lacking, for lack of a better term. Yeah, if missiles aren't doing it for you to avoid those fingernails, charge beam, charge wave beam. Here it is. Melee counter, and now you can shoot him. Go right into his damn mouth. Unload a few missiles. And you're good. And there we go, that's the fight. Watch yourself, Samus. Good job. Wanna give me a thumbs up for old time's sake? That's cool too. Alright, Kraid, we'll see you next game. He and Ridley are pretty... I don't know. What's the word? They survive a long time, even though they kind of die. Anyway, diffusion beam. Causes the charge beam shots to explode on impact. So you can actually shoot through walls effectively. Well, correctly. Press and hold the Y button to charge. The explosion penetrates through terrain. So, that alien block there, boom, it's gone. Thanks to the diffusion beam. Thanks, diffusion beam. One more. There we go. And as if to help us illustrate that it can penetrate through terrain, those guys that have been burrowing through the ground and have been normally an annoyance, you can just blow them up now. Before we move on to that teleportal, let's head up here. Do a little bit of wall jumping. Break through that alien block. And now we can access that little guy. We don't need to have any sort of magma protection. We can just wall jump up there. This door is something we can't access just yet, so the only option is this teleportal. And we're heading back to Dairon. It's good to be back. Now, we couldn't access this teleportal before because of that. Now you might be saying, well, how could we have accessed it normally anyway? About that, those are breakable blocks. Your first time through here, you could have broken those blocks and gotten right over here. Obviously, you'd need the wave beam and, the wide beam and the Various suit in order to make any sort of progress, but still. Coming down here. Is it? Oops. Yeah. There we go. I think the implication is that you're supposed to use the morph ball to jump rather than doing what I was trying to do, which is actually technically an exploit, which we'll be seeing in the sequence break at the end of the video. But yeah, we'll explain that after Adam explains everything.
Uploading data.
This area, Dairon, appears to be a biological research laboratory. You have already reactivated one generator in this area. There is another sector above you still suffering from the blackout. Find the next generator and reactivate it. You are slowly recovering your abilities. I have still not established what happened to you physically. Don't let your guard down. Your primary objective is to survive. Proceed with the utmost care.
You got it, man. That'll do it for the live commentated version. Now to show off some cool ass tricks. This is my favorite sequence break in the entire game. Before heading to Kraid, if you break off and head back to Dyron, you can find the breakable floor leading to the energy part room. From here, you can choose to go for 3 new upgrades in any order you want. Keep in mind that these upgrades would normally be acquired later, so what you'll see here is a spoiler of what's to come. Got it? Cool, let's do some explaining. Getting to these upgrades requires the use of a trick called the slide jump. In essence, you slide off a platform, jump out of the slide in midair, and use that extra distance to access platforms you normally wouldn't be able to reach. The biggest uses of this trick are for the items you can get before Kraid, but it's nice to know how to use it all the same. Here's the route I like taking for this sequence break. Breaking this block to the right of the energy part compartment will lead you to this magma-filled room. Slide underneath the passageway and jump out of the slide, then wall jump off of the wall to catch the ledge that's hovering over the pit of magma. At the other end of the next passageway, perform another slide jump to cross the gap and grab the ledge. Failing this second slide jump can put you on the ramp, which gives you a second chance to try again, but missing the ramp will send you into your magma grave. Proceeding through and going down the elevator will eventually lead you to the location of the grapple beam upgrade. After getting the grapple beam, head back to the magma room. You can grab this unknown collectible on the way there if you want. Grab the missile upgrade on the upper path and proceed further through the natural Dyron path. Break through the first breakable wall in the Emmy zone, and proceed to the room upwards and to the right. Slide jump off the platform and wall jump to grab the upper ledge to get higher. Note that because this is all being done before Kraid, you won't have the diffusion beam to break the alien block up ahead, so this is how you'd gain height in this room without it. From there, it's a linear path to reach the bomb upgrade. Now Kraid can still wait a little longer. Use the grapple beam to proceed through Berenia until you get the flash shift. On the way back, if you're really good with the pseudo wave beam, you can break the diffusion block to get to the speed booster early as well. But this is too tricky a trick for me, so I've never been able to do it. Return to Kraid with the grapple beam, bombs, and flash shift in tow, and now you have 3 new ways to deal with him. Now that you have the grapple beam, you can skip the whole belly button segment and attach to the elevator while it's at its raised position. From here, you can jump right into firing missiles and charge shots at his mouth. While you're there, if you wait until Kraid gets his head close to you, his eyes will glow red. At that point, you can flash shift into his mouth to trigger the latter half of the counterattack cutscene. Thanks to the grapple beam and flash shift, you don't ever need to be on the bottom floor. That's cool, right? That said, there's an even cooler and even faster way of handling Kraid during the second phase of the fight. Upon reaching the second phase, bomb the left wall to expose a bomb track. Enter into it, and it will shoot Samus into Kraid's navel, at which point you can continually lay bombs while still inside and trigger an instant kill. The fact that the developers knew that players would find a sequence break to get any of these upgrades early, not to mention programmed an instant kill with the bombs in mind, is amazing to me. Proof that they knew about the bomb sequence break is in the bomb track itself. You can visit Kraid's room later in the game and expose the track, but it doesn't send you anywhere special, which is the hint to say you could access it when it would have been most useful. Super cool. Alright, that'll do it for this time. Next time, more Metroid. See you then.